He's in concussion protocol. He moved into the first 5 with Jackson McAndrew, unfortunately, out for the year.
My mistake, I meant scoring or assisting on 30 points per game.
It's hard to overstate his impact, so I appreciate you trying right off the jump. In terms of what they're missing today, the Cyclones in the middle with Joshua Jefferson.
And I think the key for the Cyclones missing Lipsey on both offense and defense, because he is a swiper on the other end, on the defensive end as well, is how are you going to get Momcilovic shots coming off of pin downs? Lipsey is the one that initiates the offense and allows others to constantly move and cut.
Run Josh Dix off the three-point line on his first touch. Nick Graves has it with 12 to shoot. Owen Freeman up to screen. Short clock for Creighton in the half court. Owen Freeman lost the handle, now with 3. Graves trying to make some lemonade. A shot clock violation. What a start for this Cyclones defense.
And if you are talking identity, that is identity for Iowa State on the defensive end in that first possession.
Happy 61st birthday for Greg McDermott, celebrating once again in Las Vegas. I don't know if his locker room serenaded him like they did last year at this event, but maybe they will. In victory today, Jefferson draws front iron. Joshua Jefferson, a Las Vegas native.
And I love what Iowa State does on that play right there. Having a guy like Jefferson come off a handoff. Post players aren't used to having to show off of that with that size coming up that.
Dix looking for some airspace here. He gets Blake Buchanan on the switch, attacks off the bounce, and has his shot blocked. 2 great defensive stands for undefeated Iowa State to begin our day in Las Vegas.
And Toure with Lipsey out is going to have to hunt the paint. The biggest thing for the Cyclones, paint to great. And that's what they've done all season. That's how Momcilovic has gotten all of his catch and shoot threes. The ball has to get into the interior.
A second chance opportunity. This is a raw nerve for Creighton after they were blown out on the boards in their loss yesterday. Milan Momcilovic begins his day at the stripe. His 26th over a ranked team. Since 2021, ISU tied for the 4th most wins over ranked foes in college basketball. He loved the way that Milan played. Called him a tremendous worker with great habits, and he plays with the confidence that he's earned.
Well, Coach Alselberger, please, any player wants to be told to hunt shots. So what a luxury it is. It speaks to the work that Momcilovic puts in, but also the need for the Iowa State Cyclones to have him reining it from beyond the arc.
That's preferable to having to tell a player to maybe look to get others involved, you're saying.
Yeah, it was more look to pass, don't shoot as much.
Nick Graves over to Blake Harper, a sophomore from DC. Once again, Creighton has single digits on the timer. They blitz that screen. 4 left. Josh Dix against Jefferson. Still can't find it.
And I understand that Creighton wants to shoot threes, but the type of threes they want to shoot are not those. Iowa State relentless on the defensive end. And then again, Creighton yesterday struggled with Baylor, keeping them off the offensive glass already. Iowa State with an opportunity at a second chance point.
Buchanan the miss there. Harper trying to get out in transition. Trying to beat this Cyclone defense down the floor.
But the worst thing you can do against a Cyclone defense is allow them to load up and put the ball on the sideline.
Freeman finds Green, and that's the first hoop for Creighton.
We call that a buddy-to-buddy pass. It's nice to get a paint point for Creighton after those 2 possessions with so much pressure.
Chilovic comes to get it. Heisey hoists and hits. Nate Heisey.
And right there, Momcilovic not taking a contested mid-range jump shot, doing a great job getting it to Heisey.
Owen Freeman still trying to play himself into shape after some off-season medical work. His first year in Omaha with these Jays.
And look at the shot clock. 3 of these 4 first possessions, the shot clock has wound down to the last 2-3 seconds right there. A shot clock violation. Iowa State is hyped as their defense is holding up and gives them a 5-2 lead. Right here, Momcilovic hits Heisey, subbing in for Lipsey. Doing a great job thus far. A quick look in those first 3 possessions that Iowa State thrives on getting you to the sideline. They play with length. They do not foul. They're disciplined, and they make you go late into the shot clock.
Jefferson with 2 feet in the lane. 1 for 7 shooting start for the Cyclones. Ty Davis into the game for Creighton. Likewise, Karam Konan. Here he is with the touch. Also get our first look at Hudson Greer. Dix on the step back. Sticks the long 2. Josh Dix.
And Dix right there, known for his 3-point shot, but can get into the paint. The mid-range game is very much alive, and I think against this Iowa State team, you're going to have to take what the defense gives you.
Dominicus Plata in for the Cyclones, over to Jefferson, also with the screen. Jefferson gets low and scores.
And you can see Iowa State kind of figuring it out. Lipsey has the ball in his hands, initiates a lot of offense, and so you're going to have Momcilovic and Jefferson trying to make plays and be playmakers for others in this offense.
Josh Dix coming off a 15-point performance here yesterday, initiates the Creighton offense. Davis on the baseline, rip through. Extra pass, Greer. He is not intimidated. The freshman finds a 3.
And the key for Creighton, they have to get the ball on both sides of the floor against this set Cyclones defense. They did just that, and they're rewarded with a 3-point shot, an open 3-point look.
Only his 3rd game after having that red shirt pulled. Went 7 of 8 from the floor yesterday, did Hudson Greer. Momcilovic, they're able to get to his spot.
And right there, just on full display, putting the ball on the floor. He's long, he's able to elevate, and you have to respect his 3-point shot.
Konan trying to find Dix. Midway point of the shot clock, flings it all the way over to Davis.
See, Davis has to take that shot. You pass up an open catch and shoot 3 off a ball reversal, then you're going to be forced in the clock to take a contested bad shot with 2 players on you.
Just as you described, Candace, they didn't even get the shot. The steal and numbers for Jefferson and the Cyclones. Ooh, he took his time with it.
Iowa State thrives off turnovers for the year. 27 points off turnovers, and that's what they want. So that's when your offense, you have to take that shot.
Dix from distance. Offensive rebound for Creighton.
As you see right here, they do not foul. They are disciplined. And when you don't take open looks, then this happens. Jefferson in transition comes down, takes his time. They don't load up, and he's able to make them pay. So I do believe that sometimes passing up an open shot is like a turnover.
Clear from the baseline. Tough catch. Green able to save it. Finds Trout off the bench. Isaac Trout strikes a 3.
And Trout, we've seen time and time again that trail 3. He loves that little 45-3 at the top of the key. Did a great job knocking it down.
Momcilovic. You mentioned that high, easy release. He can get offense whenever Iowa State needs it. Jason Green looking over to his head coach with 10 to shoot. Has Buchanan defensively on the baseline. Greer denied there. Killyan Toure. The Frenchman with the Euro. And a trip to the free throw line.
To the free throw line.
4-star recruit before Brewster Academy. Toure played in a French U21 Pro League. Missed the first of 2.
To the free throw line is. I was at a game yesterday where we watched Syracuse try to knock off top Houston, and they shot 43% from the free throw line. Those those easy points can add up, and you got to take care of business. Some of the best teams got to knock it down from the charity stripe.
Fedor Zugic into the game for Creighton for the first time. 12 minutes to play in our opening half. Freeman is back. Screening for Trout. Here's Zugic. Great entry pass. Freeman lays it in.
I love that big-to-big screen roll, and it's a switch, so you know you have the big behind the roller. Ball gets out quick. Able to be rewarded with the bucket.
Jamarion Bateman off the mark as Freeman grabs a rebound. McDermott said, as Creighton gives it back of Freeman yesterday, that he's a long way from being himself. That's what it looks like when he is himself.
Go way back when Greg McDermott and TJ Alsoberger were on the same staff. At that time, TJ Alsoberger was an assistant coach, and Greg McDermott told me, TJ is one of my best friends. I cheer for Iowa State every single game except for when we play them, and Coach Alsoberger will tell you the exact same thing. When I say way back, I'm talking high school when TJ was there. Their relationship has both shaped their careers, and I asked Coach Alsoberger the best piece of advice McDermott has ever given him. He said it's all about the details. When it comes to running a program, he said McDermott is so detail-oriented. He doesn't skip a beat. I've been around a lot of great coaches, but the way he builds a program that's consistently successful over time, that always stuck with me.
Well, thank you, Autumn. As Toure knocks down a three, that's a difference from when these teams met in their exhibition game in Omaha. ISU shot 0 for 14 from behind the arc in that game. It was a game that McDermott and Creighton won with a 23-0 run, but they scheduled that game because of their contrast in styles to prepare for the upcoming season.
And sometimes it takes a little bit to get going. We were here last year with Creighton as they were in the first players era, and they were struggling from outside. Things opened up as Trout knocks that down. You know, sometimes shooters, it takes time to get the rhythm, takes time to get to know your teammates, and, you know, you also have to see one go in, and then the basket gets bigger.
That felt a bit like Jackson McAndrews' arrival, right? In his phenomenal debut season. Unfortunately, done for this season, had successful surgery in New York and is on his way home. We were told this morning. Here's Trout again. Oh, his heat check wiped away by Jefferson. Toure on a rim run, and he rinses it with the right.
And right there, that's just Iowa State Cyclones basketball, capitalizing off of a blocked shot on one end, running the floor, getting rewarded.
Ty Davis nearly turned it over again. That's a kick.
That can get out, move his feet, and guard different positions. There with the amazing block shot, comes down, heady play, finds Toure for the slam.
It was incredible yesterday watching that win. He ran the one with Lipsey sideline. He played the 5 at both ends when it was required. Just a versatile piece that Otzelberg can use everywhere. Toure on both ends.
And right there, the way that the Cyclones play defense without fouling, that help side.
Left alone behind the screen. Could not bury this one. Offensive rebound for Iowa State. Julic has a mismatch. Waits for that second defender to leave and could not capitalize. Graves leads the break. Zugic rocked into a 3. Graves grabs it off the heel.
And I've got to say that second chance points is probably going to be a big conversation today as Creighton relies heavily on second chance points, and controlling the glass is going to be huge as they got a lesson in it against Baylor last night.
Here's the senior from Las Vegas with a dime to Buchanan.
And that's a heady play right there. Being able to take 2, understand the double's going to come, and find your buddy.
Freeman bobbles and throws it away. Creighton.
Right here, Buchanan knows his help side's coming, doesn't foul. Toure comes with the help side block. And then you got Jefferson, hands up. Iowa State does not foul. They use their chest to defend, and then you can't help up if you're big and leave your man below the basket. Jefferson, just a heady, under control play.
Under control. He plays in slow motion, and I mean that in like an affirming, complimentary way. He will not be sped up. Dominicus
That is a
Plato
skill.
with the travel.
Has mastered that.
Josh Dix had his pocket picked. Toure with 2 hands. Austin Schwartz in for Creighton. Zugic caught up in the air. Could not finish. Jefferson claims it on the defensive board. 3-on-2 if they hustle. He calls his own number and comes up empty. Now Dix on the counter. Freeman whirling through the Cyclones.
And right there, that's a great job by Freeman getting out in front of the defense. Got to finish that layup.
Jefferson from the Vegas Strip. Timeout. Creighton. 9 unanswered from the Cyclones.
And Jefferson has left his imprint on this game time and time on the defensive end, on the offensive end. His teammates helping out. Block shot at one end, and then at the other end, why not find your most efficient player? Jefferson with the trail 3, 7 points early, gives Iowa State a 9-point lead. Yes, it's Iowa State's defense. You can talk about it, but to be about it is a different thing. Everyone says, come over and don't foul, but it's easy to stick your hand in the cookie jar, commit fouls, give teams extra possessions and extra opportunities. But guess what? These Cyclones have bought into that. Jefferson with the block, doesn't foul. Buchanan doesn't foul. Toure comes behind. You got right here, look, chest to chest, hands up. Steals, they've committed 1 foul, they've had 3 shot clock violations, they've made Creighton go deep into the possession, and then Jefferson comes down and is efficient, calm, cool, and collected. They just don't beat themselves, which is jinx, I guess. Is that, can you do that on fouls?
You just did, so. But they pay it off with the steal. Now, since this game was tied at 15, Creighton is 0 for 5 shooting the basketball, and that's their 4th turnover just since that moment in this first half.
Well, when Creighton went on a little bit of a run, they were doing such by getting the ball on both sides of the floor. It was moving quick. You have to do that. You can't play a slow offense against Iowa State. They will make you pay.
Trout gave them a lift with his shooting. This one pops out on Blake Harper and will stay at this end. Or exceeded its preseason projection in all but 1 campaign since joining the Big East. Dix, that was right all the way, and Jefferson cleans his defensive board. The Cyclones picked 5th in the Big 12, and that's going to be a wood chipper of a conference this season, and the Cyclones will get as good as they get. Schwartz on the move, thought about the transition through. Conan had it stripped, but is fouled.
And the Iowa State fans not agreeing with that call. They don't get to the free throw line very often, although a bright spot yesterday. They were very efficient after shooting only 70% on the year. They shot 9 of 10 yesterday against Baylor.
Nate Heisey off the bench back into the game. And expelling Milan Momcilovic, who just picked up his 2nd foul. So Momcilovic sits with 6.5 to go in the half. And Heisey right to the line.
And right there, Heisey being aggressive. Although the Cyclones offense has run through Jefferson, I'm wondering how Coach Otzelberger is going to manage his minutes coming off a back-to-back without your star point guard. They tried to consciously keep those 2, one of them on the floor.
Apparel and accessories. Head to shopncaasports.com today.
And in terms of Momcilovic, I think you wait this out. You keep him on the bench if the Cyclones are able to sustain this lead. And
10 unanswered for the 15th ranked team in the country. Tester pressure here as they get it into Kerem Conan. And the sophomore from Turkey will bring it himself. Good separation there by Green, using his shot fake to pay it off. Jason Green. They say he does the little things that impact winning. Good to have him healthy and back in the starting 5 for Creighton.
And Green having great touch around the basket. Also an efficient forward.
Heisey turns the corner and gets all the way home. Austin Schwartz turned down the three to put it down. Could not flip it up and in. Crashing the offensive glass. A couple of tips go begging for Conan.
And can't get the bunny to go. You got to see this mismatch. Jefferson in the paint. Obviously, Creighton's going to load up.
Buchanan from Toure, seeing two defenders. Back to the shooter up top. Toure off the mark. And Jefferson just chewing up the offensive glass. Second chance points for the Cyclones.
And that right there is called patience. Again, Jefferson doesn't get it on the mismatch. Just goes and gets it off the glass. And Creighton has gone to this high pick and roll. They've seen success the last couple possessions off of that.
Off the jab. Laying a bit flat on the three. One and done for the Jays. Heisey on the move with Jefferson.
And Jefferson calling his own number. Getting into that mid-post. You either have to bring the double, and then he's going to find the three-point shooter.
Heisey hit the deck. Didn't hit anything else.
And I would love to see Green operate more in the pocket like that against this Iowa State Cyclones defense.
See if they have a late burst in them in this opening half. Creighton shooting just 28% with 9 turnovers. Here in 25-26. Green hammers the dribble, sheds the defender, and is fouled. Jason, an Omaha native who grew up watching Creighton. Now he's the longest tenured Blue Jay. Short on the first, he's an 80% foul shooter.
And if you're Creighton and you don't get to the free throw line that often, you got to capitalize on getting to the free throw line more by being more efficient.
Leaving 2 there. Candace, you got the Midas touch today. I don't think Creighton fans are too happy with you in this first half.
Neither are Syracuse fans.
Dominic Nelson with the full head of steam, cut off at the baseline. Tries to drive the crease again and is swatted. Austin Schwartz, 2-on-1 with Green, puts it up, and Green crushes it down. There's the spark that Creighton needed.
Yes, right there, Jefferson, efficient, being that guy that the Cyclones need him with their star point guard out with injury. He's going to have to do a little bit of everything, and you see he's doing just that in this first half. 4 assists, and a lot of that comes off of him baiting the double, which I love. He plays with patience, he plays with poise, and this offense is flowing through him today.
Autumn Johnson, been a great homecoming week for him so far.
Oh yeah, a true homecoming for Las Vegas native Joshua Jefferson. He told me his mom, dad, grandmother, brother, and cousins, at least 10 plus family members, are all here in this building. Make it a cheer section. Joshua told me it's always a confidence booster for them, having them in this building, and trying to give everything he can to this game because every single one of them helped me get to where I'm at today. For now, it's all business with games ahead, but he's thinking family dinner Wednesday night. And yes, he does come from a big football family. Of course, his father played in the NFL. His brothers played Division I football, but you're watching the hooper of the family today.
Autumn, see if you can get us an invite.
Yeah, I would love a plate.
I'll see what I can do.
I would love a plate.
Buchanan just got his second bucket. Now a bounce pass intercepted by the Jays. Hudson Greer, one of the top recruits in program history, pouring it on.
And right there, Greer walking into that three. You're that great of a shooter. You get the green light. You get the ultra green light.
For a freshman, he looks like he's been here the whole time.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know what you don't know, you know?
Nelson on the second bite of the apple.
Nelson right there. And Creighton gonna have to do a better job of blocking out here. As we saw that added up yesterday in their loss against Baylor.
They were outscored by 20 points in second chance opportunities in that loss, 16-2 after the break in particular.
And demolished on the glass, 48-28.
Dix is trapped, dead on the dribble. Oh, how did he find Freeman? Greer, I'm shocked he turned it down.
So you take a walk-up contested three, but But here's the love right here, JB.
Expected to redshirt freshman Hudson Greer until everything changed after the Gonzaga game. Coach McDermott said that this team needed some more grit, and Hudson brings that every single night. And he said, when Hudson goes in, I know he's going to give us everything he has in fights. He's arguably our best athlete. He's still learning, as you guys mentioned, as a freshman, but he's not afraid, and we needed that in our lineup.
The Jackson McAndrew injury was so frustrating, so demoralizing, but the redshirt was pulled before that unfortunate injury, and Jefferson back to work. Freeman trying to get a stop. The arrow favors the Cyclones. You and I were talking off the air that...
But also, you got to live through the mistakes that he's going to make. It's easier to pull somebody back than to push them forward, and it just seems like he plays with a motor, he plays with intensity, and that's what you want if you're Coach McDermott.
Who said that he appreciated that roller coaster through October and November that Hudson went on with him as they made that decision collectively. And how about this first half performance for Iowa State without Tamin Lipsey, one of the Big 12's top guards?
And that just speaks to the depth of the Cyclones. And without Lipsey, also Momcilovic on the bench in foul trouble.
Ty Davis. Weak side board contested and belongs to the Bluejays.
Long run, a healthy Lipsey is great. And it gives you a solid chance to win a lot of games.
Freeman, bounce pass. Ooh, with bad intentions, Green came up just short. Peace of mind of the audience watching, it's not the same injury he suffered last year.
And JB, it's also November. And you have to have some sort of understanding that there's bigger basketball ahead of this Iowa State team. They have bigger goals, and they need this young man healthy in order for them to reach those goals.
Could have fooled me. A lane violation here as part of that complicated picture at the wing in terms of the depth chart, right? It was unclear when he'd be able to play last year. It was unclear if he'd be able to come back and play this year. He was reclassified from a freshman to now a junior. That uncertainty is why McDermott and the Bluejays loaded up at that position and maybe had the luxury of redshirting Greer, which is no longer the case.
And right there, Toure gets back to his spot. He's having himself a great first half, but McDermott said he learned from his mistakes, Coach, last year, where he felt like their lack of depth actually hurt them later on in the year with injuries and, you know, being able to play through things. As Creighton goes back to this pick and roll that has been so successful with Green operating off of that mid-post spot.
Here he is in the corner. Entry at the high post, middle of the lane, Owen Freeman. Former Big Ten Rookie of the Year in 24. I'll leave that to you and the champion to discuss how you want to handle that. A convincing first half for 15th ranked Iowa State. Creighton, if they can handle their defensive backboard, get a stop here, will get a chance to counter before the break. With the Cyclones shortening what's left of this first session. Jefferson's got 9 points.
Momcilovic back in for this possession, takes a step back three, and that is why he is subbed in for that possession. The ball touched all three of the big three for the Cyclones.
At the horn, it grazed his iron as Creighton cannot answer. Momcilovic in foul trouble, just 1 of 5 before that strike.
And right there, coming in, sometimes you just need a little momentum. If you're Momcilovic going into the half, he's been shooting a mess out of the ball in the players era. But until then, Toure holding it down on the defensive end with the fast break layup, and then again, getting a little front court action with Green rocking the rim. Creighton down 14.
Here we go with the second half, Creighton and Iowa State. They crazed the basketball and a quick whistle after a relatively foul-free first half.
Cyclones defense with the middle pick and roll with Green rolling to an open side, which I think that they're going to have to go back to that.
Momcilovic picked up his third. Individually, he's been in trouble. Hit the big three going to the break. Freeman off the dips. Graves made himself available, but a bad pass denied him that three-point shot. Now he has to create for himself. Harper had hands on the offensive rebound, but Jamarion Bateman controls for the Cyclones. Jefferson just barreling his way in. Maintaining that dribble, it spins out on his left hand.
And Jefferson didn't get that one to go. Green doing a great job. That's a great rim run, getting out in front. As a post player, sometimes you don't get rewarded for running rim to rim. On that one, great heads up play.
Buchanan over to Spring Jefferson. Finds Bateman. 10 to shoot for Iowa State in the half court. Killyan Toure on the throwback. Buchanan rises and scores in the lane.
And that's being calm and patient. In the post, could have taken a contested fadeaway. Ended up with the nice, sweet touch hook.
Green all the way up to screen for Graves. Now a rejection on the re-screen.
And right there, the adjustment the Cyclones made on that middle pick and roll that gave them a little bit of trouble in the first half was they're switching it now.
Tuck pass, Green from right in front of his bench.
And Green doesn't get it on the pick and roll because they switched and denied. He gets it in the corner off the reversal. Creighton's moving the ball a little bit better early here in the second half than they did to start the game.
Green has 13 of the 31 for Creighton. It's the 5th made 3 for the Bluejays. Jefferson, put-back dunk for Blake Buchanan.
And Jefferson is going to constantly draw a man and a half to 2. Buchanan doing a great job of following that up.
Iowa State really focused on taking Josh Dix away. Has to come all the way out to get it with 10. Bateman hounding him defensively. Harper finds Graves, the lefty, comes up short. Green tracks down that offensive board. Nick Graves. And Buchanan didn't block it, but he certainly altered the shot.
And Dix cannot give up. They're up to touch. They're doubling off of handoffs. They're not letting him get anything easy. He's got to continue to be active. I would love Creighton to use him at some point or something like that. And then Jefferson, again, he's going to draw 2. Buchanan, just clean it up. If Jefferson misses, he does a great job of the follow-up.
Buchanan was so good in crunch time yesterday. His offensive rebound and put back late helped them get that win. It hangs and falls for Joshua Jefferson.
And Jefferson is going to constantly put pressure on your offense, whether he's facilitating or barreling down the lane. He's going to make you pick your poison.
Facilitating is a great word because he had over 100 assists at 6'9" last year.
With Lipsey out, even more so.
Dix gets a clean look. Those have been hard to come by.
And that right there, great execution on the out-of-bounds play by Creighton.
Yesterday for Iowa State, the big 3, Lipsey, Jefferson, Momcilovic. They combined to score 56 out of 83. Well, 2 out of those 3 either aren't playing or are saddled with foul trouble today, so it's been up to Jefferson to drag the ship. Dix to the foul line. He goes back to back.
And right there, Creighton needs the basket to open up for Dix. He didn't get very many looks in this first half. He's 3 of 7, 0 of 3 from 3, but he can do far more than just shoot, catch and shoot outside. He's got to be aggressive.
Cyclones led by as many as 14. Creighton has trimmed it back to single digits.
And this is what is a challenge because Jefferson can, and it doesn't go there for Toure, but because Jefferson can score, you have to almost double, and he's baiting you.
Dix from the corner. Here comes Creighton.
Creighton, you saw those 10 turnovers. You can't have live ball turnovers against this Cyclones defense because they're going to thrive in the open court. They've taken care of the ball and mixed things up, which has gotten them back into this game.
Well, you just cannot root Jefferson out of that mid-post. It's like a landlord in there.
He is just plays under control, isn't rushed. He's got great touch, always makes the right play.
Here's the hot hand, and the Cyclones find him defensively. Harper from the wing. Who else from Creighton can support this run that Dix is on? Knifing through to the cup. It's Dominic Nelson, the senior from Miami.
And Nelson doing a great job of taking advantage of the recovering Creighton defense off of that shot. Sometimes missed shots are like turnovers and they ignite your transition play.
Nelson stepping up from Utah Valley, where he was the WAC Player of the Year. Dixon Freeman. Now a trap on the sideline. Clever play to save it.
On 2 on the backside.
Inbounding from that point with a short clock. Dix with 5. Over to Freeman. Rolling into a jump hook. What a bucket. And a high leverage moment. Throwing Freeman. They're back within 10.
And Freeman having himself a game. Almost 8 rebounds. He's dominating the paint. That's what Creighton needs to do against these Cyclones that are doing a great job of dominating on the offensive glass.
We're starting to see Josh become a little bit more aggressive, which is exactly what they wanted to see. He said, I think he's trying to probably find his way in our offense rather than make his way in our offense. He's getting to his spots, those shots we want to see, and we need Josh to be a big part of our team. We're seeing that again today. And guys, I was watching him during shoot-arounds. He is so much fun, energetic, yelling, screaming while he's getting the hot hand. He's just dallying to that as he's looking to close this one out and help Creighton get back into it.
Yeah, Greg, speaking to the early season struggles, said he has to figure out who among his Bluejays is willing to hook it up every day. And part of that was getting Greer involved as they turn it over here on the carry.
Try to play fast and run. They're going to share the rock and share the wealth. This year they stepped up their defense. So I think that they are going to figure it out, but it's going to be much easier if Josh Dix is able to be aggressive on the offensive end.
McDermott had it as his deepest team, his deepest roster, right? Which isn't always a good thing for the first month of the season, and already that depth has been depleted.
Well, think about the style of basketball that they played over the last few years with Kalkbrenner in your center. You throw it into him and you're able to get threes.
It's been great.
In Charlotte, it's been amazing watching him play. He's dominating.
Killyan Toure exploring off the bounce. Oh, the freshman gets to the second side.
And Toure taking advantage of his size and strength on Davis, just putting him on his hip and getting to his spot.
Dix rocks the dribble. His shooter lifted. He saw Ty Davis in the corner.
And Toure impacts the game on the defensive end, we know that, but today he's been a little bit more aggressive getting into the paint. That's what they need. He's that physical guard on the wing that can take advantage of these mismatches. Davis trying to do all he can to keep him out of the paint. He's really having an influence in the pace of play, the defensive and intensity. He's having himself a game, especially with Momcilovic out.
We look defensively here from Creighton. Toure gets it back atop the zone. Dominicus Plata able to squeeze it up and through.
Yeah, Plata scoring through that Creighton zone. It looked almost like a 1-3-1.
Largest lead of the game for the Cyclones. That was deflected into the backcourt, so Austin Schwartz can retrieve. Look how far from the bucket Creighton is having to play.
And look at this.
Freshman matchup, dueling on the baseline. Trout sticks the three.
And if you're Coach McDermott, you got to figure out how to keep Trout on the floor. 3 of 4 from beyond the arc. The ball just seems to find him for open threes.
Right when the Cyclones had opened up their largest lead of the game, Trout trims Toure in deep after his own. Back up and in. Killyan Toure and a technical.
Uh-oh, Jefferson's limping to the bench.
It's been a long time since AP French will have to translate for me, but whatever it was that Killyan Toure said, he got teed up after this too. Jefferson starting to feel those minutes a little bit.
Yes, Jefferson coming up lame. Iowa State bench. Hopefully they get him back soon.
The end of his hoop. 1 out of 2 for Trout.
3 of 4 from beyond the arc. And so in order to ignite this, at times you gotta Got to bring in some offensive firepower.
Well, Creighton's been shooting it much better. They just need to get those shots up before they turn it over.
Yeah, the pressure bothers a lot of people with the Cyclones, but getting the ball on the sideline is what you have to stay away from. You got to move the ball quick. You got to take open shots.
Hudson Greer with 5 to shoot. Weave action for Schwartz. Toure defending. Contested 2. Made a miss.
Rolling allows him to then take advantage of his size and that mismatch, which I think can also generate threes. So I would love to see the Bluejays go back to that offense in the middle of the court.
Heisey throws it up, Plata gathers and puts it through.
And right there, putting a lot of pressure on the backside defense at Creighton to come over and help on that screen and roll. Great decision by Heisey.
Cyclones have matched their largest lead. Graves to the corner. Schwartz spins out on a good look from in front of his bench. So an empty possession for the Jays. Toure getting heavy minutes. Flings it up with the left hand.
And right here, Heisey. Just a nice clear out pick and roll. Again, a post player is occupied by, you got to stay, but can't stay too long as Heisey makes you pay.
The lineup, sensing that it's now or never with Killyan Toure about to shoot his second foul shot. These two met in what used to be called a secret scrimmage. Now it's publicized, it's televised, it's monetized. And that was in Omaha. That went to the Jays.
And a real thing, you play your guys differently, especially when a bag is on the line with Players Era tournament.
You weren't there that night, but you're guessing that Iowa State a little bit more intense defensively here today than maybe they were in October?
I would think their defensive ability and their physicality has stepped up a notch, as everyone in the nation has seen that you do not want to play against the Cyclones in a set half-court defense.
Toure to Momcilovic. Even his foul trouble has been no sweat for the Cyclones.
Great help side defense. Creighton doing a good job being physical on that possession, which causes this turnover, which allows an open shot for Greer.
No hesitation.
I love the fearlessness of this kid. Coming down, not knowing what this year is going to look like, stepping up for the moment, being ready for the minute when they come, when your name is called. He's played pretty big these last 3 games.
16 points yesterday, 9 more here today. Creighton was hoping for the tie-up. One official has a foul. It is a jump ball.
His possession.
Jim Harkness, Nathan Farrell, Chance Moore, our crew here today. Ooh. So it does go over to Creighton.
We saw them put pressure on Baylor at the end of the half, got within 3, but just couldn't get over the hump. They need Josh Dix to get going and be aggressive.
Looking to distribute. Freeman couldn't get there. Live ball turnover. Heisey flying for the Cyclones. Feeds the wing. Momcilovic, ripcord.
And Momcilovic must love those Las Vegas Wrens, because he has been truly efficient since stepping into the state of Nevada.
Not only his limited minutes, not even his foul trouble can disrupt the shooting rhythm. Freeman downhill, sprays it out. Harper extra pass. Dix got it.
That's Creighton offense right there, passing up good to get great, wide open 3-point shooter. So one of your best. He's a career 40% 3-point shooter.
Nelson off that side screen. Flips it up. Flips it in.
Are you
and a free
kidding
throw
me?
to follow.
Are you kidding me? That right there, coming up a pick and roll, feels the contact. I love that mid pick and roll. Graves gets him, throws it up. Buchanan's like, yep, count that.
And that's a true and one. We are being more lenient with the continuation in men's college basketball this year, but one of the guiding principles is you need to be going to the basket to get the benefit of the doubt. Nelson was going anywhere but the bucket as he was able to connect there. Extra possession on top of it. Look out!
Oh my goodness.
Buchanan trying to make the media guy.
Had ill intentions on that one.
A right idea by Greer, just poor execution. Now Nelson behind the back, maybe out of control. Jefferson gets to the glass, has the possession, draws the foul. Well, he's playing in a nice six-man role for the Cyclones. Coming over from Utah Valley, Dominic Nelson with the highlight of the day in the half court.
To do to ignite this offense.
Iowa State off the baseline entry, good action, and Joshua Jefferson continues to thrive.
If you look at this, Iowa State putting on a clinic in the paint, 42-16, and I understand Creighton doesn't live in the paint. They want to shoot a lot of threes, but that is just dominance.
Well, speaking of dominance, the Cyclones won their first 4 games by an average of 33 points. Then they came here to Las Vegas, and yesterday was a good measuring stick as they edged St. John's, a ranked opponents. Another fine performance today. Green. All right, so that can relieve some pressure if it counts. Good look with the shot clock framed up there, so the officials change the call on the floor. Take away the bucket from Green. We got 7 minutes left to cover, and the first game of our day from Michelob Ultra Arena here in Las Vegas. Day 2 of the Players Era. Chilovich, yesterday's standouts. Over to Jefferson. Buchanan battling for the offensive glass and earns an extra possession for the Cyclones.
Second effort.
They're coming on into the game for McDermott and the Bluejays. They get a takeaway here. Still waiting for that closing push. They put any kind of scare in Iowa State, with the Cyclones holding their largest lead. Dix on the drive, creating for Green.
And right there, Josh Dix, great quick decision, draws and dishes it off to Green. They got to make a run if they're going to make a run at this Iowa State team, because Iowa State is okay playing a little bit slower.
His 6th assist for Dix to go along with his points. A little bit out of control there. Jefferson off the mark. Here come the Bluejays all day to line it up. Maybe too much time for Blake Harper. Chilovich came to get it again. Oh, off balance triple. Jefferson.
In this offense, downhill north and south, not east and west. He's got to stay away from the sidelines.
Creighton shooting 39% with 16 turnovers. Iowa State shooting 48% with only 6 giveaways.
And Toure, I understand we're talking about him on the offensive end, but his defensive pressure as the head of the snake for the Cyclones defense has wreaked havoc on Creighton.
Dix from the logo. Oh my! Would not be denied.
And that right there is why they need the ball in his hands. He can make plays like that.
It's a big logo, but that's a big bucket. He's got 15, his 3rd made triple. Buchanan waits for the traffic to clear. Puts it up and in, and he's not done.
Makes them pay, and then Buchanan, calm, cool, collected, little nice crab dribble, fade away, and one going to the line. Again, I cannot say enough. I understand his numbers aren't jumping out at you, but he's an efficient 6 of 10, 12 points. But his hustle, his heart, his ability to keep hustle plays alive has ignited the Cyclones offense.
This is the foul shot. It gives the foul. He may have wanted me to repeat some of what T.J. Otzelberger said about him post-game yesterday, so I will. Described him as an elite defensive player, high IQ offensive player, tremendous passer. But what he liked about Monday from Buchanan was his unbreakable will. He was really proud of how he persevered in that victory. Again, a 1-point win over St. John's.
Iowa State has all the ingredients. Now, how they put it together, I don't know, but thus far, in what we've seen, it has looked pretty good.
Here's the miss there. Here's Buchanan, who we were just mentioning. I like the point you make about Toure, who was already solidly part of this lineup in this rotation anyway. But we could look back on this opportunity to play big minutes without Lipsey as the moment when he really sunk his teeth into this season.
It's like he heard you. He knew it was his time to make a play. I mean, a timely cut, picking up the ball, the head of the snake on the defensive end. He has played himself a game. I cannot wait to hear what Coach Otzelberger has to say about his game today in the press conference.
Jefferson through the legs, coughed it up. Here goes to get it. This is Nick Gray, surrounded by Cyclones, decides to spin out, find the trailer. The Crew had a great first half, not nearly the imprint on this second session. We're inside of 4 to go.
And right here, here's where things slow up, and it's also kind of a game of chess. If you're Coach Otzelberger, point difference matters, but also having your stars rested in a sure matchup tomorrow against who knows who, and you gotta make sure that you're being conscious of that with Jefferson.
That margin of history capped at 20, so they would love to get it and keep it there to Candace's point. Conan, pivoting, needs help. Zugic backs it out. Here's Green, extra pass. Greer turns it down to put it down and put it through with a foul. The Bluejays, but how about the debut season of Killyan Toure? This first month of November has been dynamic. To go 2-0 here in Las Vegas, improved to 6-0 overall. Time for the Sam's Club play of the day, and Killyan Toure is going to stand out for you,
Yes, you have to say Toure, oui, from France right here. He's impacted the game on the defensive end with his ball pressure. He's the head of the snake for the Cyclones defense, and so good luck to your point guard. And then right here, he's big man on the glass. Said a couple things, got a tech, but he made up for it with this nice play with the up and under layup, and then gets back, picks up the ball. I mean, he's been everywhere on the court. Master, and then you got Toure, who provides the ball pressure. Cyclones looking good early.
Creighton in the trailing position, throwing some press at Iowa State. No problem for Jefferson. Brings the whistle. One from Milwaukee. You combine them with the veterans like this senior from here in Las Vegas, and even short-handed as they are today, they look the part.
Well, they check all the boxes. If you look at their team, number one, you have to defend. Your defense travels. You got to pack your defense night in and night out, and especially if you're competing for a championship. You have a guard in Lipsey that's able to ignite your offense, scores or assists on almost 30 points per game for this Iowa State offense, but in his absence, Toure has stepped up, which I think can prove, like you said earlier, to be huge for them to have another force on the offensive end. Momcilovic is shooting the leather off the ball at this point. You have now Heisey that can come in, make a difference. Buchanan, I mean, just high basketball IQ. They have all the ingredients to compete for a championship.
And Candace, if this is the 5th best team in the Big 12, and I'm not saying that it is.
You can put on your bulletin board, and your guys want to go harder. So far, they don't look like the number 5 team in the Big 12.
Well, the coaches love these multiple team events for so many reasons, including the chance to go back-to-back early in the season, simulate what a conference tournament is going to be like on the other end of the schedule.
Well, on the NBA side, they have the Emirates Cup, where teams are able to learn about their guys in certain situations, because when the game slows down, the stakes get higher. And so in college, to be able to have this to go back and reflect on, I think it helps a lot.
Jefferson gets it back from Momcilovic. Now passes into the gap. Toure from Francais.
Toure has impressed me today with his cutting as well. It's a timely cut, he knows when, and I think that is a skill set in himself. He doesn't clog up the offense with his cuts. It's all appropriate and timely.
The replica Eiffel Tower here in Las Vegas is appropriate too, the way he's playing. Final 2 minutes. Zugic getting some late burn. Left it short.
Well, we've seen French basketball come on the scene. Obviously, the United States saw that firsthand at the Olympics in Tokyo. And they got a lot of young talent coming out of the country of France.
20 points from Toure, evenly distributed, 10 and 10 in each half. Momcilovic. His foul trouble.
How do you bounce back? And Baylor, put your track shoes on with transition defense. That's probably been a big topic when you're playing St. John.
It's an afternoon where Creighton's going to make 10 threes and never see the lead, and never really threaten Iowa State either.
Well, when you dominate in the paint and you dominate second chance points, as Iowa State has, that tends to be the case, as we see right here.
To illustrate Candace Parker's point, Joshua Jefferson. Shane Thomas ends the game late for Creighton, playing in the backcourt with Zugic. Austin Schwartz there as well.
And I think Iowa State wants to get this thing to 20.
Izzy with his eyes up. Toure, no whistle. Back to Creighton.
Ordinarily in a game like this, I don't think you see Toure, you see Jefferson, you see Momcilovic, you see those guys in the game this late, but Coach Osselberger, understanding what's at stake, the bag, trying to extend this to 20.
They're going to be in a pool with some other 2-0 teams, and as matchups get decided, only a 1-point win yesterday to add to whatever the margin ends up being here. It'll be near 20. Schwartz. I don't know that it matters so much if they'll look for a bucket with 5.6, though. The crowd to their feet, celebrating a wire-to-wire Cyclone win. They were urging Momcilovic to let it go, but he holds on to it. And a great start to the week in Las Vegas. For Killyan Toure and the Iowa State Cyclones, they never trail, defeating Creighton 78-60. So Otzelberger and the Cyclones now 6-0. Creighton falls to 3-3. 18 points from Joshua Jefferson. It's a double-double with 10 boards. Distributed Candace, as he so often does, with a handful of assists.
Yes, 18, 10, and 5. That's a stat sheet right here, and this is what you're seeing. Slow motion right here. Trail 3. He's super efficient. You're not going to speed him up. 8 of 17 right here. He's got great touch around the basket, and he's led the Iowa State offense by making decisions, getting extra possessions, while their guard, Lipsey, was out today and injured.
Let's send it over to Autumn.
Coach, a number of guys stepping up without your starting point guard, but I'm going to pick out one. Killyan Toure, what did you see in the way he stepped up in the backcourt?
Yeah, Killyan was magnificent today. Tamin's done such a great job mentoring him, and Killyan continues to develop because he does hard work. And great to see him step up against a really good team, especially in Tamin's absence.
Physicality, yet discipline on the defensive end. What's the art in mastering both for this team?
Well, for our guys, the mental toughness, the habits that we do every single day, we expect those habits to show up for us on the night of the game. And our guys are really committed to it and continue to do a great job. So we just have to keep our focus where our focus needs to be.
Iowa State has all the ingredients to be successful this season outside of defense, like we mentioned. What's another main ingredient for you guys to lean on to be successful?
Well, our guys love to play for one another, so we're a team that's very unselfish with the basketball. We want to make the extra play for a teammate, and so that really carries over for us.
Another team win. Thanks so much, Coach. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
How about them Cyclones? Yeah! Damn right, baby.